So let's go to the brain damaging part. Damaging part would be the other side. If the children have the negative experience chronically, then that will actually damage the brain. To the serious extent, it can become adverse childhood experiences, ACEs, and it could lead to physical and mental health. So let's go through some of them so that we will be aware of it. Maybe we did something wrong before as well. The good thing is like our children's brain are very plastic and we can always shape it no matter how old they are. Just may need a little bit more time and more effort. So now hope that we become more aware of it and we do less of it. Number one, maltreatment. So in the US, based on the survey in 2010, the biggest number one maltreatment is not food or other things, right? We are in a developed world. We got lots of materials that we need, but neglect is number one. What is neglect? There are different kinds. There are 5 types, like physical neglect. Maybe the child needs some more clothing. You send them off without jackets, or not enough food. Okay, it didn't really happen to our society much, like in our environment much. The emotional neglect, like before we said, okay, don't cry. You're not supposed to cry. We are at church now, or we are at school now. Go now. It's time for class. Go. Like that would be emotional neglect because the person actually is very upset. We want to acknowledge the feeling. Educational neglect, maybe not enough activities to educate them. It's probably less in our society as well. I mean, in our communities. And neglect of health and safety, sometimes just need to be more mindful. Like when they go to pen onto the monkey bar, we may want to be closer, they may drop. Okay, food, if we give them fish with some bones, okay, we want to make sure that let them know, okay, there are bones inside, or teach them, or just take the bones away. Those are the some health and safety issue. Social neglect, pandemic, like if they don't have friends, there were many children developed the OCD or anxiety disorder during the pandemic. Because of the social neglect, they don't want to play with other people anymore. Then we, as parents, we may want to engage them and set them up with more play dates, time to help them build up that social relationship again. So there are 5 types, and for Asian families, we probably can know now, like emotional neglect would be number one for us, because this is not something that commonly taught or shown in our Asian communities. And there are different kinds. Let me go through the 7 different examples we can see. First one is actually letting the child cry for hours without offering any comfort. This one probably happened more to some very traditional parenting styles. They say, okay, it helps with your lung development. I don't want to spoil the child, let the child cry for a long time. Very unfortunately, there are some parenting materials would teach parents this kind of method, and I've seen it, and it was so devastating. It was like a trauma and to children. So if you know anyone, even some grandparents, they may suggest this kind of way. You can let them know. They do not know. Of course, if they know it can damage their brain, they don't know. They won't do it. But this can actually damage their brain. Second thing, saying lots of no and don't. Okay, we want to be supportive. Back to that serve and return. Okay, they serve it, and then you say no, and then you stop there. That would be hard. You can use many. There are many ways to teach them how to set the limits. Usually, what we do is teach children and parents the ACT. You can look it up. It's the method to acknowledge your feeling first, like saying, "Oh, you're upset." And then the second step will be to give them the reason, very brief, like communicate the reason. Because it's dinner time, we cannot have candy or ice cream now. And then the third one, target the alternatives. Give them lots of different options, 2 or 3 options, and that the child may agree, and then let them choose it. We don't need to say don't or no all the time. That can actually neglect the emotion. First step is still acknowledging the feeling. The third one, neglect, will be like looking at the computer when they interact with us. Fourth one, not letting child to play. Some parents like that because they're so busy already and they still haven't finished their homework. and they want to have a break to play, and then they need it. They want to play. That's what they want. You can acknowledge the feeling. Okay, you want to play, right? Acknowledge their thoughts. Okay, and then we can talk about the options and let them play. Yeah, it's not a waste of time. I remember when I served before, helping some children's programs before. I have some they are in good with good intention, but parents always think, okay, don't give them some free time to play. Give them some programs to learn. They bring this time to need some time to rest. Okay, and also engage in different activities to have a healthy brain development. If it's like yelling, harsh words, we try. So we need to manage our social emotional learning part as well. Manage our strong emotions so that we won't yell at them. That hurts them really badly. Like from a person whom they regard as the one who loved them most, and started hearing yelling from them. It really hurts, and it happened. That we as parents know it happened to us, and then sometimes we regret. But try to control our emotion so that we don't yell. And leaving a child alone, that would be emotional neglect, or using shame or guilt. Okay, very high expectation to motivate the children. So sometimes we just say, okay, your younger sibling, your younger sister did better than you, throw better than you. Oh, the other one listens so well. Follow mommy's expectation. Follow the direction. Oh, the other one is keen to have dinner already. You are still playing. So yeah, that's social emotional neglect as well. Like tell them, okay, you really want to play, and give them option. How about later? It's dinner time. So instead of like using shame, fear, or some very high expectation to kind of motivate them. So those are the 7 common ways, and it is so important to provide those support to children and to avoid those neglect, because this is damaging to their brain. Why? Because it become toxic stress. Toxic stress is they have encounter some negative experience chronically. It will actually, if you look at this picture, the children when the young brain, they're supposed to build lots of connection, synaptic connection between the neurons. This is normal, but when they have lots of toxic stress, like hearing yelling from parents, hearing a lot of no, hearing I can't do this, do that, or being like ignored, then becomes toxic, and the connection actually can break. So it is damaging to their brain. More things unfavorable results from those neglects would be other than the brain architecture will change, the hormone will change. So actually, it can weaken the children's heart and circulatory system. Also, the immune system, it will activate the inflammatory pathway. So there are 3 pathways in our body, inflammatory. So our children, if you know, I personally know some people, they're adults, they have very negative childhood experiences when they were young, and then they got sick very chronically. They can't find the reason. And yeah, possibly maybe when they were young, they have already activated the inflammatory pathway, so they got sick very easily. The immune system changed, and it can even change the DNA. Okay, alter the gene expression. So when they have those lack of support from parents or caregiver, maybe the child didn't have any depression before. Some of those genes just like turn on and become depressed. So it can happen. So it can affect the physical and mental health. So this is so important. So that's why if we have a healthy parent-child relationship, we can support their brain, plus good health, mental health and physical health. Because all the toxic stress, they can come back. For example, difficult time with parents or even friends or with teachers. Maybe it's not parent yelling at them. Maybe the teacher, maybe friends. Okay, the friends that I don't want to play with you, or you know that it can happen at school, right? Excluding the friend, again against another person. Okay, or he or she is the person being get up again. So it's very difficult time. But if we have that healthy parent-child relationship, those toxic stress, like chronically being ignored by friends or even adults, okay, or even parents, but if we have a healthy parent-child relationship, those toxic stress can be buffered. The child can bounce back. And back to something called tolerable stress. Tolerable stress would be something like got sick, okay, just a few days, and then they can bounce back, recover, and then be a normal self again. So it is very important. On the other hand, if the person is lack of that one person to be in life, we talk about with that consistent, stable relationship, supportive relationship, then those toxic stress will keep growing, accumulating, and then it will change our architecture, hormone, immune system, and the genetic expression. So it is very, very important. So that will be today's topic. I can have some Q&A time, and feel free to let us know. And if you have more questions, you're very welcome to email me, and on our website and also Facebook, we have information about Bring. And recently we also talked to an organization called Palace Foundation. They are the leading of the world to provide lots of video information about children's brain development, and also relationship, and how to buffer those toxic stress, how to help children build up the resilience. So, and they have been funding different university research work, including Harvard's Center on the Developing Child. And they recently also have a Bring. If you want to know more, sign up their free certification, Bring Stories certification. I personally signed up. It helps me a lot. So it will give you a lot of insight from the physical and also mental perspectives, and different lots of information, neuroscience research work, very beneficial for parents and educators and policymakers. So you can look them up, and it's our privilege to get their permission to share those information through our social media and website as well.